Good afternoon, everybody. I keep on saying that I'm gonna get to work here, but I keep on seeing these amazing, see this face with the eye carved out? It's a whole head statue just sitting right here. Every single one of these is one of these. Are you kidding me right now? Look at this thing. Wow. This is a portrait of a human being from a long time ago. Oh my gosh, look at that. There's one on the right as well. Oh my, that's a beautiful one. So there's several faces on these. Look at all this. Look at all the little hashes and X's on it. Let's go ahead and turn it around and see. Whoa, oh my gosh. That is amazing. Look at all the holes in it and everything. Do you guys see this portrait of this human on here with the nose and his eye in there with its long top hat? I kind of get to pivot him on my neck, or on his neck. This is also the heart-shaped bird. Look at this. Wow. Wow, this is a really nice one. Of course, there's our bird. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and rescue that one. There's so many great ones here. There's so many really neat ones. Some weird ones too. You see the little portrait just on the end there. Look at this thing. Probably it's always, when you see this long trunk, it's the mammoth trunk. This is a really large mammoth. Oh my gosh, look at that. So you see all the little juts and things in the, you kind of tilt those out of the way to create the mammoth. Fantastic. Wow. So what's neat about being out here, seeing it live, is that you can see some of the clay packs and things as well, as you guys know from the other videos there. If you've been following along for a little while, you know that these are all packed in clay, in rich red clay, and adorned as well on the outside of them. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. You guys are going to be able to see the faces and things poking out on every single one of these stones. Every one of these this was a ceremonial site. There's a really neat petroglyph on this one here. You can see how the black outlines a bird. You see the wings of the bird. Might be a bird man, but this is a large piece of quartz tablet. The other side's very colorful. Take a look at that petroglyph there, or just like a cave painting, you know, it's the same thing. It's just on a rock. It's just portable rock art. That's what they call this. You know, you got rock art, which is the stuff that's on your caves and things. This is portable rock art. This is the rock art that they took with them and used in ceremonies and perhaps for burials and things like that. Like I said, there's lots of different mounds and things in this area. This was probably an old village, according to the local indigenous advisor that I have. More than likely, I've stumbled across a village here. And you can see the small mounds in some of the earlier videos where it looks like, you know, they may have been for houses and things. So look at all these. Every single one of these. There's some gateway style pieces right there, which are the white quartz. There's some of this rougher stone here with just portraits on every little edge of them. Oh wow, look at this one. Love the ones that have this great color. See the back side, the sides of them are always going to be black. One side of it will always be black, and then the other side will have color. Not just because it's in the ground like that. They're found packed in the clay on the sides. I can give you a little bit of show you how these are coming out. So these are all just sitting. This is probably the owl effigy. Notice that owl head. You can see these are just falling right out of the side of the area here. Wow. Look at that thing. Yes, definitely the owl. You can even see the paint on his face still. He's got the two eyes and the beak right in the middle. It's a beautiful owl effigy. Pulled fresh straight out of the side here. That's what the deal is with these. They're just falling out of the side of the hills. That's why all these are here. This creek never had any rocks in it before. It's another example of how we're seeing the black on one side of this white piece of quartz, and then the white on the other. This creek has gotten quite a bit deeper. So, just from the past rains and things, so there's all kinds of new stuff that's exposed. All these things, every single one of these is an effigy. It's quite amazing. Quite amazing. So, hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I am doing really good. I've got the conference coming up in 2 days here, so I'm kind of out here right now to look for some more photorealistic ones, just like the girl and the gateway, and you know, the ones that are very recognizable by everybody. This session of the Body, Mind, and Spirit Conference takes place on the 25th and 26th of February 2003. If you guys are watching this later or after, that's the date of this video. This is about a week before then. These just giant, so you just find these giant arrowhead shaped rocks. They're ceremonial pieces, tons of them. Then you find, you know, first you start seeing that there's birds on them. You're like, oh, cool, a bird effigy. Never thought I'd find a bird effigy. And then you start seeing tons of bird effigies. Look at all that fungus on that. It's beautiful. Breaking down the wood, the fungus turns things to dirt. It's a soil creator. For the longest time, there was only fungus. So, this area has a little bit of a different style. Some of these, you know, they were grouped up, and different stones had different people had different stones and different styles, maybe from different times. You can see the blade, the edge on this. You geologist types will know that there's no reason for there to be a super sharp edge like that with the rest of this all dulled down and things. That just doesn't happen. You're not going to find flint knapping at many of these. They polished. They had a different method of creating their tools. In the shadows and things, you can see how there are little carvings and etchings. More than likely, there's a giant X on this as well. Their religion, if you look down below there, you can start to see some of the carvings in the shadows. This religion was a religion of awareness. There's a giant eye. That's how it's so big, right here with the pupil right in the middle. You see the lines for it and everything? If I tilt it, maybe you can see it a little better. They were all about awareness. They had giant, I see another big one here. They almost look like suns. You see these? You see these big carvings? You have to have an eye for detail for sure, but they're there. You can see how this is blunted, and this is a bird, painted on bird, right on the end. Got several of these here, but you can see how the red painted on bird here on this stone. Very beautiful. I usually don't pull from the ground. Here's an effigy set, which is, go ahead and jump in here, we'll take a look. So these were buried oftentimes in sets. So we can see there's still the carving for the eye right there. But this is a piece that's gonna fit right on top of this other piece. And you see how the one side of this was left green. Wow. And you see how this slides in here. Looks like it may have been broken at one time as well, but this is the way that they would make these. So, got a couple of these sets still to put together, but when you look on them, you can see how there's the carving for the eye, the nose, and then the chin and everything down there. There's a couple different eyes, so pick your eye. There's bigger ones. I see a bigger one as well. You can see how this represents hair. Very cool. The other side's got paint and some stuff still on it. It's very fragile. Some of these may have just been made in a day, maybe a couple days, but you can still see the clay pack on these, so you can see how the the remnants of the eyes right there with the lashes and everything. Take a good look, guys. Look at that. Amazing. Fantastic. You see the right side portrait there? The shadows will help you see these eyes, these carvings for these eyes. Why are there faces on all these stones? Why? Well, that's just what they did. It's just how it works out here. It's a little disturbing to some, but you know, this is our human evolution. This is how we became who we are, by doing things like this, creating this art. If you're alive today, walking, your ancestors used stone tools. Every single one of our ancestors used stone tools, and more than likely, every single one of our ancestors created this art as well, because it's all over the world. It's not just here in North America. I mean, you kind of see that something's going on too when you see all these different types of lithics, all these different rocks. Even if you don't know that they're lithics, which is the definition of a lithic, of course, is a worked stone worked from humans, by human hands. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So you see the small little indentation for the lips, and you can see the eye. Hasn't been seen in thousands of years, just pulled straight out of the clay. Right out of the side of this bank here. Spear point shaped stones. Most of them are dulled, you know. These are ceremonial pieces. You can see some of the paint and stuff on them. Yeah, everything inside of here is one. I mean, look at these. Look at this stuff. These scrapers. You don't just pull out these flattened, see how flat that is? If you're not convinced yet, I know that many of you guys are because you're watching and you're here, but I mean, honestly, state archaeologists need to get their stuff in gear. Just because I'm a citizen and not an archaeologist doesn't mean I don't know the difference between a lithic and a rock. It's ridiculous at this point. Completely ridiculous. These painted stones, little bird effigies and things. Probably part of larger sets. Wow. I usually skip by this area. This is the spot where the tree fell over from the river, but it's kind of showing you the amount of stones that are here. They kind of all got pushed up by these roots before this tree fell down. But there's several more down underneath me as well, stepping on just tons of them. Lots of mushrooms out here as well. Got tons of these mushrooms. Mushrooms, of course, turn into people. It's a little portrait. You can still see the clay pack on the far right side. So they're always profile images. And I hate to say always, because, you know, nothing's always anything with this art. It changes. It was creative. Just like art nowadays is, you know, nothing's always the same. So, but you guys know I do like the mushrooms for sure. That's cool. That's a pretty one. Might take this one to add it to the mushroom collection. Let's go ahead and take a look at some more here. I'll put you in some fisheye, and we'll necessarily want to pick out things that aren't already exposed. However, these things are, I mean, they're about to fall out anyway. Look at the edge on these. So we're starting to see how there's a common motif or common style with these effigies from this particular spot. See all the same types of stones. These aren't the gateway style pieces. These are sandstone or some other kind of style, but you can still see some of the paints and stuff on these. They're all the same kind. Very cool. Beautiful texture. Look at that fungus growing on there. It's a blue fungus. Cool. Yeah, it's starting to get warmer out here. And so the fungus is going to start growing. You see how these were buried kind of together, as in, you know, with more than likely these kind of fit together. Look at this cardinal. his left side beak there. His eye still got stuff in it. Of course, there's a portrait on the right-hand side there. This may fit in here like that. Create different images. Pretty amazing. Ooh, look at the clay pack still. So, clay pack eye there. Many times you'll see the human's head, you know, the face, the profile, and then right smack dab in the middle of their head is going to be a huge eye. Large third eye. All right, guys, got a lot to go through. I'm going to go ahead and focus in on trying to get some of this stuff gone through. I need to find some more photorealistic portraits. So, hope you guys had a good one. Thank you for checking it out. See you next time.